The next topic is working towards change. We will now try and understand as to why these changes started taking place. Why has the place of women improved? Why we see that there is less of caste system in India today? Then the best thing is to say because of the new forms of communication. That is the new magazines, journals, newspapers which were printed at this time gave a platform to the people to write and read and discuss their issues or whatever was in their mind. That is, these platforms gave an idea to the people that what they were thinking was also thought of in the similar way by many other people. So, the literacy which gave birth to magazine, newspapers and journals was a good platform because by this way they could discuss the issues that they were not happy about. Later on, when these issues were read and written, it started taking the shape of a movement. And this movement aimed at changing the Indian society. So, for all these reasons, we find that there was a great change in the Indian society owing to the fact that people were becoming literate. So, many reformers at this time came up, as I told you about them in the previous chapter, that we shall be reading about the Indian reformers in the next chapter when we were discussing about the Anglicists and the Orientalists. The first one that I have picked up is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy founded the Brahmo Sabha, which later on became the Brahmo Samaj in Calcutta. He can be called as a true reformer because reformer is a person who tries to reform the society of the evils which are there in it. So, a person who is trying to reform the society is called a reformer. And Raja Ram Mohan Roy tried to do this by telling the people that these evils which had crept into the Hindu society did not exist earlier. He was highly in favor of Western education and believed that it is only by attaining higher education in the Western learning that we shall become completely developed. He believed in the equality of women and criticized the fact that the women were kept at home and were not allowed access to the outside world. He was totally against sati and tried to show that there were no such sanction of sati in the Hindu scriptures. Now, as I gave you an example in the earlier chapter, that there were many Britishers also who wanted to reform the Indian society. So, when they heard that Raja Ram Mohan Roy was also giving a sanction to the fact that sati was not a religious sanction, they got an encouragement and sati was banned in 1829 in India. Raja Ram Mohan Roy knew many languages, not only Hindi, Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian, but there were many other languages that he was a master of. As far as Raja Ram Mohan Roy is concerned and other reformers are concerned, they adopted a strategy at this time to reform the society, and the strategy adopted by them was they knew that the Hindu society or the Indian society actually gets all its sanctions from the religion. So, they used to pick up a line or a verse from the scripture and tried to convince the people of India that this particular limit which is there or that particular sanction which they have given did not exist in the earlier time. As they spoke of sati or of widow remarriage, that all this did not or did exist in the ancient Hindu society.